See. Oh, someone's taken my place. Move. Perji. Okay. So I feel like this is a good place to start um, for now, and then maybe I will adjust my camera. I didn't bother in moving my furniture today. What's up, you guys? Monday, after ego yoga session, here we are. So great to see so many of you practice with me today as well. Today's class is going to be roughly, I would say, 45 minutes. And in today's class, we are going to focus on hips. So I know some of you have joined yesterday, and we've done a really great yin class, and it was all about hips. So we'll continue to work and move a little bit more dynamically. To kick us off, let's all find a nice comfortable seat on your mat. What I'm using here behind me is actually a rolled up blanket, which is what I also recommend you guys use here as well. So like a nice little rolled up blanket to sit on top of. And what this does really, it helps you level up your knees with your hips. So oftentimes if we experience any tightness in our hips, and when we sit in a cross-legged pose, this is what happens with our knees. Our knees are up, and we're actually putting a lot of pressure in our lower back, in our lumbar spine. Easy fix until we open those hips up, sit on top of a nice blanket, and maybe even roll out your feet slightly forward so that your knees are really nicely in line with your hips. I'll do a full video on just talking on how to prepare for your sitting practice for your meditation. But for now, once you find a comfortable seat, you can rest your palms in your lap. Let's go ahead and close our eyes. And let's use this time to arrive to our practice. Let's all take 3 deep conscious breaths together. So inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now seal your lips and continue to breathe through your nose only if possible. During our yoga practice, we try to breathe through our nose only. In this way, we calm the nervous system down. And then secondly, we also deliver oxygen very efficiently to our body. If you want to make a little sound at the back of your throat, you may do so. Equal inhalations, equal exhalations. Samavritti, that's how in Sanskrit they refer to this equal fluctuations of the breath. Just to round up our arrival practice, I ask that you guys experiment with the placement of your hands. So see if you can pull back your hands so they're closer without opening your eyes. You can still keep your eyes closed, but just pull your hands closer to your hips so that your elbows are by your side more. This should hopefully open up and straighten your spine, so when you breathe, it's even easier. There should be like a lightness coming out from your seat, just because we're modifying the way that arms are positioned. And then the second thing I want you to notice is turn your palms down. So let's all turn our palms down to face our thighs and take 2 conscious breaths here. And now turn your palms to face up and take 2 conscious breaths. And just notice, turn them once again, turn them to face down. Notice how this is different. And then one last time, turn them to face up. And go ahead and release that. With the next exhalation, you can open your eyes. Arrive back. We're not going to move into a meditation. It was just to show you a couple of things. One is, what's the foundation of our sitting practice? The second thing is, how your palms are turned actually opens your chest more. If they're facing up, your chest, your clavicle breathing muscles are more open, so allows you to take a full deep breath. Where when you turn your palms down, it actually closes your chest a little bit more and focuses on belly breathing. So maybe you felt your breath more in your belly when you had your palms down. That's the whole thing, So depending on what's the effect you want to have, if you want to have more calming, introspective practice, you turn your palms down, and that's where you go into belly breathing more. If you want to have more energizing practice, more open practice, you turn the palms up, and that's where your chest open more. Subtleties, but really interesting. At least for me. I don't know. I hope it's for you as well. Okay, so let's come off of our blanket here for a second. The last thing I want to do, so we prepared or primed our mind for our practice. I want to prime our body as well, but today we're going to do a slightly different thing. Since we're working on hips, oftentimes the tightness in hips is also reflected in tight calves. So I want us to work on our calves a little bit before we move into our practice. So I want you to take your right shin bone, the middle of your shin, and place it on top of your left calf. So the shin bone is kind of, strongly digging into your left calf. Keep your right foot and your right knee off the mat, and then sit back on your calf, compressing your shin bone into your calf muscle, and then maybe reposition and find a place where you really feel it. You should move around until you find a place that's really tight, and you should start to make faces by doing this. It's not a pleasant thing. For me, it's somewhere always middle of my calf muscle, where there's a lot of tension. And I worked out this morning with my foam roller here, so I rolled out some of that tissue so it doesn't feel as stiff. Oh, there it is. And try, when you find a place that's stiff, try to breathe into that place. You're going to thank me later. Now you're going to hate me for walking you through this, but later you're going to thank me in your downward facing dog. In some of the hip opening poses, you have more space. All right, nice. Okay, go ahead and remove your right shin off your left calf. Let's replace this and reverse sides. So let's use your left shin and sit on top of your right calf here. So again, keeping your knee and your foot off the mat. There isn't there isn't picture perfect way to do this. We're kind of working with the tools of our own. There it is for me. Sorry, you have to listen to me as I kind of go through this painful process here, but hope it's inspiring you to find tightness in your calves as well. It's not enjoyable, but it's beneficial. This tightness in calves, in general in our muscles, it can be, it can be neuromuscular. So it could be a bunch of neurons that are actually fired at all times, and they're keeping your muscles tight. It could be that it's, muscle that's sore from a workout or something we are repeatedly doing. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. Come back to a nice tabletop, please. Press firmly into your mat with your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Lift off your knees off the mat, tuck your tailbone. Press firmly into the mat, come into this levitating tabletop. This is the new name I came up with for this pose. So your knees are hovering over an inch. Pressing firmly, pressing the mat away from you. Even having that little bit of roundness in your upper back. 3 more rounds of breath here. If you want to experiment, you can lift off your right foot off the mat, then maybe left foot. And from here, push your hips up, come into a nice wide-legged downward dog. So your heels are pressing for the corners of your mat. All right. We're gonna stay here very long. Let's warm up our legs. So notice if there's any release in your calf muscles thanks to that little kind of self-massage that we did just there. Hopefully you should have a little bit more space. And your calf should be a little bit more open. Then with the next inhalation, bring your feet closer together, no wider than your hips. I'm going to stay here very long. Walk your feet towards your hands. Come into this nice bent knees, forward fold, grabbing your opposite elbows, releasing your neck, bringing your head in between your hands here. Maybe sway from side to side, forwards and backwards. All right, it's time to release our elbows. And then slowly we're going to come up, keeping a bit of roundness in our spine until we come all the way up. Then we first tuck in our tailbone, still keeping this roundness. Then the lumbar spine comes off, the mid spine, all the way up to the top. Just gonna adjust this camera slightly so you guys can see me better. I know it's actually pretty close. Let's see if I can adjust this. Okay, so come to stand at the top of your mat. I'm gonna turn you towards you so you can see me here at the beginning. You cannot see my head, but it's fine. You know how I look like. Bring your feet close together or slightly apart. And let's start with our sun salutations. We'll do a couple of modifications. So inhale, hands reach for the ceiling. Shoulders are relaxed. Exhale, fold over. Inhale into half lift. Hands on your shins, looking slightly in front of you. Just gonna pivot here. Exhale, bend your knees, place your hands on the mat, bring your right foot back, the right knee goes on the mat. Inhale, arms reach for the ceiling. Low lunge. Opening that psoas muscle on the right side. Exhale, frame the front foot. Step the left foot back. High plank pose just for a second. Firmly pressing into your mat, tucking your tailbone. Exhale, knees, chest and chin come to the mat while keeping your elbows by your side, maybe walking your hands a little bit back. This is the knees, the 8-point pose. Knees, chest, chin, and then slide yourself forward, keeping your elbows by your side. Inhale, your chest come off the mat, baby cobra. tuck your toes behind you, push yourself first into high plank pose, and exhale back, downward facing dog. You can still pedal your feet here if you are warming up. If you are feeling tighter today, it's always a good idea to keep your knees bent in the downward facing dog. Because see what this does to my back, right? It straightens my back is straight and reaching down, and I'm gazing towards my knees, as opposed to if I have to compensate by trying to bring my heels down and having this roundness in my spine. This is a lot better. Keeping your knees bent. Now, if you're a pro, you can always, if you're still feeling warmed up, you can always bring your heels down. With the next exhalation, bend both of your knees, look forward. The right foot steps forward, the left knee goes down. Inhale, low lunge on the opposite side. Let's get into that psoas muscle on the left side. And once you guys go into one of the following longer down dog holds, I'll actually try to play some music. So this is not so dry without any music in the background. With the next exhale, step your back foot forward, come into half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Here, place your hands on your waist and then look slightly in front of you first, come into half lift. And then inhale all the way up. Just gonna move slightly back so the Instagram can see me as well. Okay, perfect. Let's do this one more side and we'll add more things. Inhale, hands reach for the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, you guys. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees. Place the left foot goes back this time. The left knee goes on the mat. Now I'm gonna give you options here. With the next inhalation, you can go into low lunge, same like what we did last time, or you can go double bent knee lunge, keeping the left knee hovering off the floor. The arms reach for the ceiling. So we are already practicing in our hovering tabletop. Awesome work. Exhale, frame the front foot for a moment. Straighten your right knee. Flex the right foot. Half split for a second. Exhale, frame the right foot. Inhale, high plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest and chin to the mat. Pull yourself forward. This time, inhale, full cobra. Peel off your entire chest, keeping your elbows by your side. And then curl your toes behind you, push back into down dog. We'll stay here for 5 rounds of breath. Go through your pointers in your down dog, making sure your feet are parallel, pressing firmly into your hands and knees. Let me see if I can play some music in the meantime. 3 more rounds of breath, you guys. Long, deep inhalations, long, deep exhalations. You got this. Okay. Okay, with the next exhalation, bend your knees. Look forward. So, sorry if I kept you a little bit longer there. Then let's step our left foot in between our hands. The same thing applies as on the other side. You can hover your knee or come into low lunge. So low lunge or hover knee, double bent knee, low lunge. Really opening our quads and our hips here, and make sure you contract your right glute here to provide some firmness for this pose. Okay, exhale, frame the front foot. Straighten the left knee for a second. Half split, open chest. Frame the left foot, step the right foot forward. Inhale into half lift. Exhale into forward fold. Here you can add your palms as well towards the back of your legs to help deepen your forward fold if you desire. Place your hands on your waist. Inhale, half lift, looking slightly in front of you, and then lift all the way up. That's the hinging at the waist action you want to have. Check your feet alignment, make sure they're no wider than your hips. Inhale, arms reach for the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. We're gonna continue to build from here, working on our hips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right foot steps back. Listen carefully, 3 options. Knee on the floor, double bent knee, low lunge, or high lunge. The right leg is straight. You're gazing towards the fingertips. The palms are slightly in front of you. Try to straighten that right leg as much as possible. Imagine there's a wall behind you and you're pressing your heel into that wall. Exhale, frame the front foot. The right knee comes on the mat. Straighten your left knee for a second. Flex your left foot. Frame the left foot. Step back. High plank pose. Okay, we go knees, chest, chin, or if you want to, low push-up, Chaturanga Dandasana, coming on your toes, gliding forward, lowering down, and then inhale into your cobra. Or if you're feeling warmed up, you can lift off your knees into upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog, you guys. Okay. I didn't get to move much from this in this day, in this week. So I'm getting a lot of release in working out here with you guys. 3 more rounds of breath. Stay in your down dog. Awesome work, you guys. Bend your knees with the next exhalation. Step your right foot forward. The left knee goes on the mat. It hovers or high lunge. On the opposite side. Normalize your breath as much as possible. Exhale, frame the front foot. Straighten the right knee one last time. Half split. Yes, perfect. Frame the right foot back. Step the back leg forward. Inhale into half lift. Hands come on the waist. Inhale all the way up. Tadasana, mountain pose. Awesome work. Inhale, hands reach for the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Let's go. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, both feet step back, high plank pose. Let's do it. All for one and one for all. With the next exhalation, bending our elbows, gliding forward, Chaturanga Dandasana, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Pressing firmly into all the knuckles of your hands. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. With the next inhalation, bring your right foot off the mat, reaches for the back of the room. Bend your right knee, open to the side, scorpion for a second, stacking your hips as much as possible. Inhale back into your 3-legged dog. With the next exhalation, step your right foot forward. This time, spin your left heel down, keeping your right knee bent. Inhale into warrior 1. There was one of the questions that came in through Instagram or through WhatsApp, I'm not sure, was the hip alignment in warriors. Excellent question. So in warrior 1, we want to have our hips turned forward as much as possible. And to facilitate that, the back foot needs to be at an angle, right? At a 45 degrees angle. And what will naturally happen is a curve in our lower back because of how our hips are working. Okay, so that's warrior 1. And then from here, open your hands to the side, look towards the left side of your mat, pivot your back foot so it's parallel with the edge of the mat, open to the side, and then gaze through the fingertips of the right hand, warrior 2. Here, our hips are facing the side of the mat, hence our back foot is parallel to facilitate that. So whole of our body is as 2D as possible here, and you're gazing in between fingers of the right hand. With the next exhalation, bring your right arm on top of your right thigh. Press away from your right thigh so you're not dumping your weight into your right leg. Press away. Inhale, the left arm reaches for the ceiling. Side angle pose. And then extend through the fingertips of the left hand towards the front of your mat. Extended side angle pose. Exhale, frame the front foot. Hop the back leg a little bit closer, straighten your right knee. Hover over or rather fold over your right leg. I just like this word, hovering. I started just saying it at random places. There's no hovering here, it's folding over your right leg. Pyramid pose. Bend your right knee, hop the back leg a little bit further, step the right foot back into high plank pose. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, low push-up, or knees, chest, chin. If today is not a good day for Chaturangas, inhale, upward facing or cobra, chest broad, looking slightly in front of you. Exhale back, downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath, please. Normalize your breathing, check all of your down dog pointers. Maybe you start to bring your belly towards your spine here as well, allowing for more of that V shape in down dog. Awesome work. Next inhalation. Left foot reaches for the back of the room. Bend the left knee, open to the side, stack your hips. Scorpion. Inhale, back of the room. Exhale, step it forward. This time the right heel comes down. Inhale, warrior 1. So our hips are facing forward. The back foot is turned at an angle. The front knee is bent. And the last pointer for our warrior ones and twos is the heel to heel alignment. So you want your front heel to be aligned with your back heel, or front heel with your back arch, the arch of your foot. And then open your hands to the side, warrior two. When I get so focused in some of these poses, my face tends to be really serious. So I try to remind myself to be a little bit silly. I mean, traditionally yoga is a serious business, but we can give ourselves a break here. We're not somewhere in a silent retreat in Himalayas. We're just trying to do something better for our body and our mind. 1% better every day. With the next exhalation, place your left hand on top of your left thigh. Press away from your left thigh. Inhale, the right arm reaches for the ceiling. Side angle pose. Your feet have not changed. So the same warrior 2 feet. That's why this is one of very common transitions. It's very easy to come from warrior 2 into side angle. Extend your right fingertips forward, extended side angle pose. Good work. Exhale, frame the front foot. Hop the back leg a little bit closer. Extend the left knee, fold over your left leg here. Bend your left knee, hop the back leg a little bit further away, step back into high plank pose. Press your mat away from you. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, low push up. Inhale, upward facing. This is the last vinyasa of the class. Make it count. Exhale back, downward facing dog. And we're slowly going to come to our mat from here and focus more on our hips. First, inhale, the right foot reaches for the back of the room. Exhale, bring that right knee to nose. Inhale, back of the room. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, back of the room. Exhale, step it outside of your right hand. Tap your left knee down. Press firmly into both of your hands so the right foot is outside of your hands. And prepare for your lizard pose. So a couple of things we're going to do before we move into the lizard pose. First, press your left hand firmly into the mat. Inhale, the right arm reaches for the ceiling. You can stay here. If you want to add a little bit more stretch to your left thigh, left quad, you can bend the left knee, reach the right foot for your the right hand for your left foot. There we go. And gaze over your right shoulder. The more you kind of sit on top of that left knee, if it's not, if the surface you're on provides enough cushioning, you'll be able to get a bigger stretch. Maintain the integrity of the pose, so press away from your mat to get more opening. Don't pull on your back leg to have your chest open, but press away. And then first release the back foot, slowly come down. Bring your right hand inside. of your right leg. And then from here, come on the top of your left foot. And using any props you have at your side, blankets, pillows, whatever it is, use them to deepen your lizard pose. So essentially the goal, under quotation marks, it's not a goal, but what will help you have more open hips is, or having more open hips eventually will allow you to come on your forearms. But for now, let's use props. So I'm gonna use a blanket and one pillow for today's class. Press my forearms into my props. And then to make this pose slightly more dynamic, so you can stay here, or you can come towards the edge of that right foot and then bring it back. Edge of that right foot and bring it back. Stay here for 3 more rounds of breath. Okay, with the next inhalation, come back on your hands, remove your props, press firmly into your hands, lift off your left knee. And you know what I'm going to ask you is to try to lift off that right foot off the mat, to hover, there it goes again, hovering your right foot off the mat, and then step it back into your downward dog. If you want to go through vinyasa here, feel free to go through high plank, low push-up, upward facing. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. We have the other side to go through. So whenever you're back in your downward facing dog, inhale, the left foot reaches for the back of the room. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back of the room. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, back of the room. Exhale, step it outside of that left hand. Right knee goes on the mat. Press firmly into your right hand. The left arm reaches for the ceiling. Press the mat away from you. And see, actually, try not pressing your mat away from you and just kind of for a second just to see the difference, even though it's not good for your shoulder. See what happens after if you collapse into your pose. And now if you press the mat away from you, first of all, your shoulder is gonna thank you, but also the right psoas, the right hip muscle gets more open. I don't know if you can feel that. And then from here, you can stay here, or you can bend your right knee, catch your left foot, gaze over your left shoulder, maintaining the integrity of the pose. And then release the left foot. Don't let your foot just spring down to the mat. Slowly bring it down. Bring your hands inside of your left leg. And let's prepare for our dragon pose or lizard pose on the other side. Come on the top of the right foot. Get your props in if you're using props on the other side. We're going to deepen the pose by slowly coming on our forearms. And then you might decide to, roll your left foot to the edge of the left foot a couple of times. If you did so on the other side, do it here as well. Two more rounds of breath, you guys. Today I'm going to break our script a little bit. So We always finished our practices with back bends and things of that nature. Today we're going to skip that. Come onto your hands, press away your mat, bring your right knee off the mat, and then push away the mat from you, push away the earth from you. Bring that left foot off the mat, step it back into your down dog. Go ahead and bend both of your knees. Sit back into child's pose just for a second. Really reach through your fingertips. Walk your hands back to come to your elbows. Sit back on one side. And then turn to face, open your legs, turn to face your one side of your mat, preferably the one that's facing the camera so you can see me as well. Let me just adjust this camera slightly, and this is going to be the last hip pose we're going to do today. So it starts with open hips, open legs that are at 90 degrees angle. Both knees are bent, both feet are flexed. Okay, so it's a little bit of a brain gymnastics. First, we turn over to the left side, bringing our left shin down and bringing our right knee down. So we are in this classical 90-90 with our legs. Let me bring the camera down so you can see this. So from here, we just went and pivoted over to the left side, and we came into this 90-90. It will take a while at the beginning to get this move, but it's totally fine. From here, we're going to fold over our left shin. So this is kind of a modified pigeon's pose, but we're not going to stay here very long because I want to make it a little bit more dynamic, and I think the music is also, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but it's also kind of motivating to do a little bit more dynamic. So come back up, you're facing your shin, you're on your fingertips, roll back. So maybe you're just coming, your hands are directly behind you, fingertips facing forward, and maybe you just come here. Maybe you want to come a little bit further down. We're now working on that right psoas muscle. Hopefully you feel more loose, more open. And then walk yourself back up, face the left shin. And then pivot back to the side of your mat, coming on the balls of your heels here. Let's do the other side, and we will wrap up here. So face the right shin here. Same thing. 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Fold over your right shin here. You can even make a nice little pillow for your forehead with your hands. Relaxing your forehead on this little pillow. I know it's so much enticing to stay here for a long time, so because I need to finish the class in a couple of minutes, we are going to move from here. But if you want to explore some of these poses more, feel free to do so. Come back to sit up. Place your hands behind you. Come either just bending your elbows a little bit, or maybe coming on your forearms. Working on that left hip psoas muscle here. I didn't realize this playlist is so active. It's like a little rave party in the background. It's okay. It's Monday, we need a little bit more energy. Walk yourself back up. Come back to the side of your mat. And from here, you are just going to come back to where we started, okay? So one last piece. So we can come into a cross-legged pose. Stay here. If you're feeling hips a little bit more, allowing you to come a little bit more. You can come into a fire log, which is essentially stacking your shins one on top of one another. So in my case, my left ankle is on top of the right thigh. If you know the half lotus, you can come into a half lotus here. For those of you that are pros, and I know there's a bunch of you that are pros, you want to come into a full lotus, that's also an option. Or wherever you're feeling that your hips are allowing you to come today. And then from here, we're going to inhale our hands towards the ceiling, exhale and fold over our legs. Walk our hands towards the left side first. Walk back to center. And then walk back to the right side. And walk back to center. Bring your forearms on the mat just for a second. And see, maybe even here, like making it a little bit more dynamic, you can even maybe circle your hips here in this pose and see if that opens any part of your hip a little bit more. Just experiment for a couple of moments. Bring yourself back up whenever you're ready. Bring your palms in front of your hard chest. I feel like with this music in the background, I cannot get into a final relaxation pose here myself, which is fine. I have to move further with my day. For those of you guys that want to round up your practice, I ask you to come into your final relaxation pose after this. Let's take one conscious breath all together, inhaling through our nose, exhaling through our mouth. Thank you so much, guys, for practicing with me. Namaste. Namaste at home. Have a wonderful week. Have a great rest of your evening, the rest of your day. I'll see you here tomorrow. Tomorrow we focus on our forward folds. So trying to deepen our forward